What's going on, y'all? Peter Griffin here. Alright, so I think that everyone can realize that the direction that Wuthering Waves is going to has been not very good so far. And what do I mean by this? I'm talking about how there has been zero combat events and just overall Wuthering Waves has just been not fun to play since honestly 2.5. And it's starting to get to a point where you just log on to Wuba just to do mini games, and most people, they don't want to log on to Wuba just to play mini games. Like, let's be completely honest. And I know they've been adding new MSQs just about every patch, but if I'm gonna be completely honest, I could care less about the main story. I haven't really cared for the entirety of 2.0. Like, it's nice, it's okay, it's just nothing really special. And I'm mostly glad that Renacida has finally ended, well, the story arc at least, so we can just move on and go to the New Federation, because the New Federation does look cool. The story does seem a little bit interesting, but I mainly just want to see the new region, and that's just about it. But for someone like me who just does not care for the story and just doesn't really do it that much, the only thing I've been looking forward to in the past 3 rule patches have been the QOLs and the events and the TOA resets, and even then they haven't really been delivering that much on all 3 of them. Well, besides the TOA resets, the TOA buffs have been completely fine so far. I actually like them. But the events, like, bro, these events, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of them suck. Like the Phantasma Dreamland event that we had, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that that event was straight up horrible, and I honestly hope we never see an event like that again. The Tower Defense event, I actually don't think it was too bad. I enjoyed it, but then again, in this event, you're not really doing anything. You literally just watch the Taz and Discords just fight each other, and that's really it. So it's a very uneventful event. And for the Vampire Survivor event, I'm gonna let the gameplay speak for itself, because this is just... yeah. And because of how boring these events have been, there's really no reason to honestly do them outside of the rewards. Like, the rewards aren't bad. Well, besides for the Phantasma Dreamland event, the rewards are not very good in that event. But for the TD event and for the Vampire Survivors event, the rewards aren't bad, but you could really skip these events and you really won't miss anything. And it's honestly quite sad to see, because we know that Kuro can do better than this lot that they've been putting out recently for the events. And one thing that also questions me is that if they're gonna bring out multiple events per patch, why not put in a combat event? Because people love the combat events in this game, me included. Like, I don't see a reason why they can't bring back Virtual Crisis unless they're trying to put that as an endgame mode, which is completely fine. But if they're not going to bring back Virtual Crisis, they can at least bring back the co-op boss mode, which was really fun. I'm really surprised it hasn't made a return in a while. And one thing that surprises me is that WUA hasn't been prioritizing the combat of this game lately, because, let's be completely honest, WUA at its core prioritizes the combat. That has been the main appeal for this game. Well, besides the woman at least. But anyway, the combat has been essentially the main focus of the game. And with how fluid and how fun the combat is, I'm just honestly sad that WUA isn't utilizing the combat and showing it off to its full potential, which is crazy in my opinion. Like, I think the combat of Wuthering Waves is easily the best out of any gacha in my opinion. But with the direction that Kuro is going with Wuthering Waves, they're not focusing on the combat. They've been focusing on the story a lot more, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, if they were going to put combat events to make up for it, which they have not been doing. And as someone who really doesn't care for the story and doesn't really do it, the fact that they've been prioritizing the story and not giving any combat events at all is just stupid in my opinion. And I know a lot of people are going to try and make the argument that WUA is a story game, which, let's be completely real, this is not a story game. I've seen a lot of people trying to make the argument that WUA is a story game, which it's not. It's always been a combat game. The combat has always been the main core of the game. The story has always come second, I'll admit that, but the story has never been the core focus of the game. And even then, if you're planning on playing Wuthering Waves for the story, I suggest you don't waste your time with this. If you want to play a gacha game that has an actual good story, go play Nikke, Uma Musume, or Grand Blue. And yes, I said Nikke and Uma Musume. I'm not gonna sit here and act like the stories in those games aren't gas, because those stories are actually good. And I'm not even talking about gacha stories, like as actual stories you see from a video game. They are actually good. Same for Grand Blue, they're actually good. While for Wuthering Waves, by gacha standards, the story is good, but if this was an actual game, the story would be mid at best. So trying to say that WUA is a story game is completely false. I will admit they've been focusing on the story a lot more, but that doesn't mean that the focus of the game is the story. And if Kuro keeps going in the direction where they keep putting more emphasis on the story and just keep neglecting the combat and not putting any new endgame modes or new combat events, this game is just going to turn into HSR, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. And we all know how bad HSR is in its current state right now. And as someone who actually used to play HSR and actually enjoyed it, it does suck to see another game go this direction that HSR is doing, which is to add just minigame slop events and, if we're lucky, a singular combat event. That's if we're lucky. So I do hope that Wuthering Waves actually just does not go this direction, because it would be absolutely horrifying to see. Because what's going to be the point of playing the game where you can't even use the characters that you built outside of the monthly TOA and Whimpering Waste resets. And me including Whimpering Waste is just being nice to Whimpering Waste because I know at this point a lot of people don't enjoy that mode, me included, and I'm someone who does that mode only when they're bored, but I can guarantee you a good majority of people don't even touch that mode, so I don't even blame them. So now it's just mainly just people waiting for the monthly TOA reset. That's just about it. And if that's what people are going to be looking forward to at this point, I don't see this game doing well in the long run. And with upcoming gacha games like Arknights, Enfield, Ananta, and Duet Night Abyss, especially Duet Night Abyss, which as a recording of this video comes out within 4 days, we know that the game's going to have a decent bit of content, and the combat in that game actually does look very good as well. And if that combat does actually feel good and play nice, I could see the game beating Wuthering Waves, if I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. And the fact is there's also no stamina in that game too, so you can grind for as long as you want. I just don't see what Wuthering Waves is going to do if it doesn't fix the direction it's going in right now. Now, I'm not saying Wuwa is completely cooked. It still has a chance to come back. It still has a chance to fix itself. It just needs to actually add more combat events or add a whole new endgame mode. Like, hopefully, whether in 2.8 or 3.0, we get a new endgame mode, which has been long, and I mean long overdue. Like, if they were to add the co-op boss event or Virtual Crisis, or maybe even both as an endgame mode, that would be honestly amazing, and that would honestly fix the problems I have with Wuwa right now. And it would keep a lot of people invested in the game too, because people love these events. They're definitely the two most favorited modes that people have seen so far. And I'm probably just coping, but hopefully they add those two modes, or at least one of those modes in the next 2 updates. But that's only if Wuwa does decide to lock in and change the direction. Because again, if they keep doing what they're doing right now, this game's just going to turn into HSR, and it's just going to be another character collection sim where you do nothing but collect characters and play mini games. And I can guarantee you, just about nobody wants that to happen to this game, because a game with this good of a combat system, just for it to turn into a character collection sim and just have only minigames, would be absolutely horrifying. And I won't be surprised if people as of right now are quitting the game or taking a long break from the game as well, because of how boring and how dry the game has been. And it's the same reason as to why people quit HSR as well. Well, besides the endgame getting worse, but that's a different topic for another video. But anyway, people were fed up with how they were only adding minigame events and no combat events as well, so people ended up quitting. But anyway, it's just at a point where if Wuwa doesn't add anything, I'm just not gonna play this game anymore, or even be on it as much compared to as I used to. And now I'm at a point where I'm just waiting for a Duet Night Abyss to come out so I can just put my time into that game instead of Wuthering Waves. And I'm not solely excited for Duet Night Abyss just because I can have something else to do instead of playing Wuwa. No, I'm just genuinely excited for Duet Night Abyss, and I just want to put my time into that game instead of Wuthering Waves. And I can guarantee you a lot of people share the same feelings that I have about Wuthering Waves as well, where there's pretty much nothing to do in the game. And as of right now, the only things that I'm really excited for, or that I'm just looking forward to in Wuthering Waves, is just Chisa's release and the Cyberpunk collab. And those are the only 2 things that are keeping me interested. And I guess I could add the new Federation as well, which it does look cool, but if it doesn't add anything interesting, then I could quite frankly care less what's going to happen in it. So if Wuwa doesn't change the direction that they're going in right now, once the Cyberpunk collab happens and once Chisa banner drops, I don't really see myself playing the game anymore. Well, I don't see myself playing the game as much anymore is what I meant to say. I'm not going to quit the game unless I do something stupid, which is honestly becoming more and more likely as the days go by. But anyway, to sum up my main point, Wuthering Waves needs to fix the direction that they're going in as of right now. And I'm not saying they need to completely neglect the story. They can find a balance of updating the story and putting in combat events or updating the endgame mode. They can find a balance to do both, which I'm surprised that they haven't been doing, and it's honestly stupid that they haven't been doing it. So Wuthering Waves needs to get on that now. And if they don't, this game is just going to become HSR. And honestly, if you compare the direction about how both HSR and Wuwa are going right now, both directions that they're going in, it's very similar, and it's honestly not much different from each other. The only clear differences between the 2 of them is that Wuwa has the better story. It has the significantly better endgame, while HSR has the much worse story in the absolutely horrific endgame. But besides those 2, if you really compare everything else that they're doing, it's just the exact same. And if Wuwa keep this up, the future of this game is cooked. It's done. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the current state of Wuthering Waves. Do you also think that it's going the same route as HSR? If so, leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell for when I do upload a new video. And I'll catch you in the next one.